A while back, I had the idea for a top 10 countdown talking about the cursed rides in auto racing. I had only come up with 6 initially. The number 60 Xfinity car in 2018, the 00 Aaron's Dream Machine in Cup, the 28 Texaco Havoline car in Cup, the number 10 Target car in IndyCar, the 37 Timberwolf car in the Busch Series, and the number 38 Great Clips car also in the Busch Series. The 38 specifically has had some bad things happen with drivers who have driven and are associated with that car. The most notable being the health concerns involving Kasey Kahne and the tragic end to the career and life of Jason Leffler. While Leffler is undoubtedly the most known and signature driver of that car, and Kasey Kahne got the car's first win in a top NASCAR National Touring Series in 2003 at Homestead, do you know who was actually the first driver of the Great Clips car? I bet you don't. Spoiler alert, it wasn't Kasey Kahne. So, how many of you know the name Christian Elder? I bet the answer is not many, if not none of you. Well, like that of Jason Leffler, Christian's story also has a tragic ending. Unlike Leffler, though, his story isn't well known at all. Odds are, if you ever have heard of him, you only know him for the crash that ended his NASCAR career. Contrary to popular belief, though, his racing career actually didn't end as a result of that crash. But the effects of that crash were tragically severe. If you've been on my channel long enough, you know I look for any and all answers and evidence to put the pieces together to get the real story. Though Christian Elder's story didn't affect me as much in the way that Kevin Grubbs did, the lack of information and coverage concerning Christian Elder is very disheartening, especially when you consider what he's most known for in auto racing. And also the fact that I myself found out about Christian's tragic end 4 years after it happened. I am not making that up. So, what is his story? And what actually happened to him in the end? Well, that's what I'm going to try to attempt to solve for you guys in this video. This is the tragic mystery of Christian Elder. Originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Christian Elder came from a racing family. His father John and brother Justin have also raced. They're mainly associated with road racing and a few racing series you may or may not have ever heard of. Though some of Christian's background in racing in his early days isn't exactly clear, what I have found is that his experience includes winning the 1998 Motorola Cup at Mosport, as well as running several different 24-hour endurance races. Before that, he also enjoyed early local NASCAR success, winning at a few different events. Although these events are unspecified due to lack of information on the internet. The only evidence supporting those being these pictures. Christian managed to get Great Clips to become his signature sponsor starting in the 1998 season in NASCAR's Goody Stash Series, and thus became the very first Great Clips guy for a lot longer than what many know of. Christian reached the national stage in NASCAR, achieving his biggest accomplishment in NASCAR by winning the 1999 Discount Auto Parts 200 NASCAR Goodies Dash Series race at Daytona. Christian also won the Charlotte Goodies Dash Series race later that year. Despite being the first Great Clips driver in what's now known as the Xfinity Series, his Busch career isn't very memorable. Driving for Aikens Motorsports, he only has 24 starts in the series that spanned the 2001 and 2002 seasons in 2 part-time season efforts. His highest finish was 20th, which occurred twice, and both of those finishes occurred in 2001 at Bristol and Dover. One of the more interesting things I discovered was an announcement from August 2001 indicating that the original plan for Christian's 2002 season to be a part-time schedule at 22 races, and then his 2003 season in the Busch Series would be his first full-time season. In addition, Christian was to have supposedly made an attempt to qualify for the 2002 Brickyard 400 as well. For reasons we'll get into, neither one came to fruition. According to sources, in October of 2001, Christian injured his neck at a crash at Talladega, presumably in a test session. It remained sore for a very long time and was re-aggravated after a crash at Fontana in 2002. A month later, at the end of May, it was determined that Christian needed neck surgery for his C3, 4, and 5 vertebrae, with 2 of those being herniated discs. I found it interesting when he said that if he did something else for a living, the surgery wouldn't be needed. I also find it interesting, and dishearteningly sad honestly, that what he says gives the appearance that he believed he actually needed approval from Great Clips to have the pain and issue with his neck addressed. It was cool if Great Clips, along with Aikens Motorsports team owner and general manager, to come out with public statements in support of Christian, sending him well wishes for healing and recovery from his neck issue. However, there are also quotes from him regarding this subject that are very haunting, considering what is to come. Though Christian himself said he hoped to be back by September of 2002, and it was reported that he'd have to be out of the car for a minimum of 8 weeks, he unbelievably made his return at Kentucky, right around 2 weeks later. Though he skipped the race after that at Milwaukee with Mark Green driving his car to a 22nd place finish, Christian's next start was the very next race at Daytona at the beginning of July. Christian's last race in NASCAR ended up with him being caught up in this crash, most notable for Kasey Kahne's spectacular near flip.
Red flag, and it's very borderline in having enough laps to do that.
Yeah,
they're going to stop the cars on the backstretch.
I just wish they wouldn't do this, but I know they will.
Sprague, I saw moving around in the car. Thankfully, good news. There's Scott Wimmer. Christian Elder is in it. C.W. Smith.
Kasey Kahne, a 98 car.
Yep. The cars are towed away from turn 2. Christian Elder, who is just back after recuperating from injuries. There's Jack Sprague's car, the points leader.
It's like it starts down and he corrects forward and then the thing takes off with him. And when it does, it just gets into Todd Bodine on the outside there.
Watch Kasey Kahne. Wild ride.
Right over the top of Jack. Stacey Compton's one I can't believe. He goes right through the middle. Listen, I don't believe he got any damage.
Dude. Thanks, Chris. Christian Elder just out of the care center. Christian, from your point of view, what happened? And first of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I think it knocked me out a little bit there for, I remember coming to and not really knowing what was going on, but I feel real good now. I was up in the high line, running strong. We were running, I don't know, 16, 17, something like that. And somebody got sideways way up in front in the outside line and hit the wall. And after that, it was all about smoke and my spotter yelling, just slow it down, slow it down. And I got into somebody, like I say, there was so much smoke. Being back as far as I was, I couldn't see anything. Feel bad for the Great Clips crew. They worked real hard ever since we were here, in February to get this thing together, to run as good as we did. I mean, come from 32nd all the way up to 13th there, but just wasn't our day.
Glad you're okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
And yes, I did say that Daytona race would be Christian's last race in NASCAR, because the next race was Chicagoland. 2002 was not a good year for the NASCAR Busch Series overall in terms of attrition. Ricky Hendrick was injured at Las Vegas and before the end of the year decided to retire from racing as a result at the age of 22. The biggest wreck in Busch Series history and in the modern era of NASCAR occurred at Talladega, and technically it did have an injury, but it was literally just Mike Harmon biting his tongue and he had to get stitches for it. I'm not making that up. Cup Series regular Johnny Benson suffered rib injuries at the spring Richmond race, a race I went to, thanks Brian Vickers. Jeff Purvis was badly injured in this collision with Greg Biffle, where Biffle was also injured. Dan Partis had a bad wreck during Chicagoland qualifying. Part-time Busch racer Andy Kirby was killed in a motorcycle wreck. Derek Cope, Johnny Sauter, Ashton Lewis Jr., and Jack Sprague all sustained bad crashes at the same Richmond race in the fall, in which Cope was the only one injured in his crash in that race I also went to. Kevin Grubb suffered ill effects as a result of this wreck at Dover and had to sit out 2 races while dealing with that and the flu all at once. Even with all of that, the worst on-track incident of the year for the Busch Series did occur at Chicagoland. But it wasn't Dan Pardus's wreck. While making a qualifying attempt for the 2002 Tropicana Twister 300, Christian's car got loose in turn 3 and, well, this happened.
In qualifying for the NASCAR Busch Series, Christian Elder goes down in turn 3, loses control, and watch when he turns back to the right, how hard he smacks the wall. Destroyed that 38 race car and had to spend the night in the hospital.
Christian was airlifted to a hospital where most reports only say he was treated for a concussion and a broken collarbone. However, all of the injuries he suffered were only reported by his website. In addition to the concussion and broken collarbone, Christian also suffered 3 broken ribs, a sprained wrist, bruised feet, and a laceration to his forehead. A picture of him in the hospital being visited by Robbie Gordon shows the evidence of the sprained wrist and forehead laceration. So to me, those reports are 100% accurate. Luckily, and amazingly, his previously injured neck, which he undoubtedly returned to racing way too soon after surgery, didn't seem to have been affected by that horrendous crash. Though his condition improved, he never competed in NASCAR ever again. However, this actually wasn't the end of his racing career. Remarkably, Christian returned to racing before the end of the year in what was known as the Speed World Challenge Series. At a test session, Christian said he felt no problem or issue with his arm that was affected by the clavicle and wrist injuries. Christian also said his injuries had healed and he was feeling good, being happy back behind the wheel of a race car. There's not much info regarding the Speed World Challenge Series at all on the internet. In fact, the information that I did find outside of his website regarding the 2003 Speed World Challenge Series doesn't even list him among the competitors for some reason. The only information that I did find regarding him and that racing series came from his old website. For the 2003 Speed World Challenge Series, his old website indicates a 19th place finish at Sebring, a 19th place finish at Mosport, an 18th place finish at Lime Rock, a 24th place finish at Mid-Ohio, and a 13th place finish at the season finale at the Puerto Rico Grand Prix. For reasons I was unable to uncover, Christian's brother Justin drove his car to a 24th place finish at Road America. In addition, he also got a 2nd place finish at the Come Ho Tropic 12 Hours of Homestead race in the Spec Miata series, the series where Justin competed. Christian's father John was also a co-driver for the car Christian was driving during this event. After that, there's no info regarding Christian's racing career after this race, as his website was never updated for over 3.5 years. Within that time, though, it's not known if Christian ever continued with racing in any capacity. The 2003 Puerto Rico Grand Prix was not only the season finale, but also the finale of the relationship between Christian Elder and Great Clips, with Great Clips assigned to stay with their NASCAR Busch Series program and the person who ended up being Christian's successor in his Busch Series ride, an up-and-coming driver by the name of Kasey Kahne. It's presumed that Christian retired from racing completely after 2003, though I haven't been able to 100% confirm that as fact. But what is 100% confirmed about Christian for the next 3.5 years is that he shifted gears to a new career path, being the project manager for the Elder Jones Company, which is a family business which had sponsored Christian earlier in his career. Which, from what I understand, is a general contractor company that basically designs the cool looks and building designs for stores and such, like those you see at malls. And that's about it for what's 100% known concerning Christian Elder until the next update of his website in August of 2007. Yeah, the next time Christian's website was updated, it wasn't for good reasons. According to information from people who are believed to have known him best, as well as his obituary, Christian was found deceased at his home on the afternoon of August 12, 2007. Not many were actually made aware of this story initially because it was never reported by the racing media on TV. The main reason, more than likely, being that 4 days later, Whelen modified racer John Blewett III was killed in a race at Thompson Speedway, which did get televised attention from the racing news shows of that time. Those who did find out about the news regarding Christian when it came out were perplexed as to what had happened, and there were multiple speculations that were nowhere close to accurate. At the time, the most popular belief was that Christian succumbed to cancer after a brief bout. The reasoning behind that was the fact that in the obituary, it asked for memorial donations to be made to the Lance Armstrong Foundation in lieu of flowers for the family. Now, keep in mind this was 2007, before all of the things concerning Lance Armstrong were revealed, so let's not do any trolling here concerning that, please. Though how this was revealed isn't clear because I didn't see any official press release stating anything regarding it, it was eventually found out that Christian's death was caused by what is called an accidental methadone toxicity. I know a few of you watching this is going to assume a couple different things. Perhaps it's something similar to what the people whose comments I found in my searches have feared or suggested. Well, to those of you who are thinking that one of these theories or assumptions was indeed the end, or have seen the most popular assumption as to the truth to what happened to Christian, my response is, not exactly. Since I know no one's going to fully understand what that means or entails, I'll try to decipher it for you. From what my research regarding this uncovered, the main reason methadone is prescribed to someone is to treat people who are addicted to opioids. Well, that seems to also be a popular assumption based on my searches just to even do this video. The comments I've seen from other people that mostly match each other provide an interesting yet sad picture of what actually ended up happening to Christian. Summarizing everything I have seen from multiple people that matched up for the most part, though Christian did regain strength from his injuries from 2002, he ended up suffering from immense pain caused by the injuries he sustained in 2002 at Chicagoland. As a result of the pain he suffered from, he was prescribed methadone to treat his pain. It turns out methadone can also be prescribed to treat severe, constant, or chronic pain, which was the case for Christian. Although when he was first prescribed this is unclear, my guesstimation would have been sometime after 2003, as driving, let alone racing, while taking it is highly discouraged. There's a supposed article regarding him that I myself have not been able to locate no matter how hard I try or where I look, but according to one person regarding said article, Christian said the right side of his body was completely numb, similar to, if not exactly like the effects that Jerry Nadeau suffered at Richmond in 2003, rendering the left side of his body numb. But Christian, unlike Nadeau, also suffered from constant, immense pain, which is what the methadone would have been prescribed to Christian to help treat. Sadly enough, the FDA put out a caution concerning methadone titled, "Methadone used for pain control may result in death," in 2006, the year before we lost Christian. The comment that stuck out to me the most was a YouTube comment that brings all of the information together, and to me, is the closest to 100% true answer we're going to get regarding the exact circumstances as to what happened. Quote, Christian was prescribed methadone to treat his pain he had from the wreck in Chicago. His heart wasn't strong enough to handle the drug, and that is what took him. He died peacefully in his sleep on a Sunday afternoon in 2007. End quote. The only official source of any sort that says anything regarding Christian's death regarding the cause that I have found was an article discussing a charity event. Without specifically listing the medication in question, the sentence from the article states Christian died, quote, from complications of a medication used to combat pain from injuries sustained on the racetrack, end quote. Pretty much matching the previous comments and information from others. Christian's memory lives on today via the charity event previously mentioned. The event is called the Christian Elder Memorial 900. The event existed prior to his death, starting in 2006, but is now named in his honor because of the influence he had in encouraging his dad, John, to start riding a bike. The bike riding event benefits Kids in Kinship, a nonprofit mentoring agency that matches adult volunteers with children who needs a supportive relationship. Prior to his death, Christian had planned to join in on the 2008 event. The event still goes on today.
Christian Elder has just pulled into victory lane. His crew coming in to celebrate with him, waiting for the helmet to come off. His first win here at the Daytona International Speedway. The gloves come off. And an emotional moment down here, not only for driver and crew, but for the fans that were able to stay around and see this moment. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a dream come true. I can't believe it. Wow, what a feeling.
Tell us how it feels.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's words for this. Daytona. Victory Circle in Daytona. I mean, that's just unbelievable for this Great Clips team. I'm so happy.
Well, come on and climb on out of here. He's got to unbelt himself and take off the wheel. But Christian Elder in victory lane here at Daytona.
Christian Elder wins the Discount Auto Parts 200 for the Goodies Dash Series here at Daytona International Speedway.
In the end, Christian Elder is a driver that most people only know for one reason. And like most drivers only known for one reason, that reason was a huge or violent crash. But unlike most drivers known for only one big reason and one big crash, Christian's crash tragically caused a lot of severe pain that he had to endure. Until the very end. Though he in his racing career isn't as well known or remembered by us fans compared to other drivers he competed with back during the era he competed in, Christian is finally remembered by those who knew him best. Though the after effects of that Chicagoland crash in 2002 led to a tragic end to Christian's life, at least he is no longer suffering from the intense physical pain he had to endure for so long, and the charity bike event named in his honor ensures that his memory and legacy will live on.